So this is a review of chapters 29 through 32, and a little bit about what we studied in the beginning. You may remember that our first introduction was a lecture by Srila Prabhupada about the most magnanimous Mahavadanyaya avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his gift of Krishna Prema to the people of this material world during his advent, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Padayate. So in that lecture, one of the main points that caught my attention was that this Krishna consciousness movement is a great science. It is not sentiment. If you take it as sentiment, then you will create you will create disturbance. And we know from the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, who taught Jiva Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was also an intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya, and he taught Krishnadas Kaviraj, the compiler of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So all coming from Lord Chaitanya, we have this treasure house of wisdom about how to approach the Supreme Lord, establish our relationship with him, sambandha, act in that relationship, abhideha, and gradually develop love of God, following in the footsteps of those who already have that love.
Yeah, you want this?
So please unmute if you're not speaking. Then we introduced these topics from the Nectar of Devotion regarding the science of rasa with the various ingredients. Vibhava, which includes the participants. There has to be more than one person to experience rasa, so it's usually the lover and the beloved, and the activities and environment that inspire them to exchange loving relationships, which is called udipan. Those are different categories. So there's the participants and what inspires them. Anubhavas, which are physical manifestations of revealing what's in the heart. The bhavas are there, and then someone may clap or dance or different ones. The sattvika bhavas are 8 in number, and they're more extreme bhavas. Vyabhichari bhava are the 33 transitory states of consciousness, states of mind, states of being that inspire the central bhava or the sthayi bhava, the actual eternal bhava of the living entity. So we began with those introductory topics. Then we began the Rasa Dance introduction, chapter 29. Krishna sounds his flute on the full moon night in Vrindavan. The gopis immediately abandoned household duties, husbands, children, and social conventions. Krishna welcomed them, but spoke equivocal language, requesting them to return home. Chapter 30, Krishna's hiding from the gopis, or the search for Krishna, the gopis' search for Krishna. After welcoming them, they began to dance, but there was some competitive element between all of them, so Krishna disappeared from the rasa dance. The gopis experienced vipralamba bhava, love and separation. They wandered through the forest singing Krishna's glories and reenacting his pastimes. And we had that discussion about the sanchari bhava called unmada. They acted like mad women. And finally, they found Srimati Radharani alone in the forest. And one of the key points was that separation intensifies devotion. It does not weaken it. Chapter 31, as they went through the forest and tried to find Krishna and couldn't, they returned to the banks of the Jamuna and sat down on the sandy banks in the full moonlight and began the Gopi Gita, their song of separation. They directly addressed Krishna with heartfelt prayers, and each verse revealed humility, dependence, and glorification of Krishna's mercy. This chapter is one of the highest expressions of bhakti in all the Vedic literatures. The gopis ask for nothing material, do not even demand Krishna's return, simply glorify him and beg for service. They concluded with loving concern for the pain of his lotus feet while he walked through the forest path, that famous verse number 19. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently upon our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. After this, Krishna returned, this is chapter 32, to the gopis. They received him according to their different individual mood. However, there was still an underlying discontent because he had left them in the forest, so they asked him a question. Krishna answered the questions, explaining that he doesn't belong to any of the categories they mentioned, and expresses his indebtedness to them for their exclusive devotion to him. Krishna ended, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please, let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. This was Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 32, 22. That's the end of those 4 chapters. So now let us enter into the Rasa Dance chapter 33, description of the Rasa Dance. And Samapriya, can you pick a reader for us?
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back. It's so nice to see everyone here again. These transcendental topics are extremely esoteric and profound, and it's really wonderful to study them with everyone. Let's start tonight with Acharya. Would you like to read, Acharya?
I would love to.
Hare Krishna.
Texts 1 through 6, Krishna book.
Oops.
Thus hearing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, speaking to pacify them, the gopis became very much pleased. And not only by hearing his words, but also by touching the hands and legs of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they became completely relieved from the great suffering of separation. After this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead began his rasa dance. When one dances in the midst of many girls, it is called a rasa dance. So Krishna began to dance among those most beautiful and fortunate girls within the 3 worlds. The gopis of Vrindavan, who were so attracted to him, danced with Krishna hand in hand. Krishna's rasa dance should never be compared with any kind of material dance, such as a ball dance or a society dance. The rasa dance is a completely spiritual performance. In order to establish this fact, Krishna, the supreme mystic, expanded himself in many forms and stood beside each gopi. Placing his hands on the shoulders of the gopis on both sides of him, he began to dance in their midst. The mystic expansions of Krishna were not perceived by the gopis because Krishna appeared alone to each of them. Each gopi thought that Krishna was dancing with her alone. Above that wonderful dance flew many airplanes carrying the denizens of the heavenly planets who were very anxious to see the wonderful dance of Krishna with the gopis. The Gandharvas and the Kinnaras began to sing, and accompanied by their respective wives, all the Gandharvas began to shower flowers on the dancers.
Okay. Very wonderful. Thank you. Do you have something that you'd like to share about that, Acharya?
What do I know about any of this? But how can I say this? I'm feeling happy for the gopis that they finally got Krishna's association. He put them through so much. And yes, separation is so intense and loving and everything. But to see them actually united is as a faraway bystander, it makes me happy to see that.
Good. Wonderful. Anyone else? Jatari. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Acharya.
Hare Krishna, Happy New Year to you all. Rangavati is here too, but she's off to the side. But yeah, as many times as I've heard about the rasa dance, I was so surprised that Krishna, that the gopis didn't see that Krishna was with the other gopis. That's the amazing thing to me, that I just figured all along that just like when we see that painting, that you see all the Krishnas and all the gopis. And I thought, yeah, that's what, but each of the gopis didn't actually see that Krishna was with the other gopis, and that's, I don't know, that really surprised me.
Oh, sometimes I think of it as Krishna's in everyone's heart. And it's often difficult, or I forget that he's in your heart. I know he's in my heart. He's in your, that's a really good point, Jatari. Should we discuss that, Patti, a little bit?
As you like. It comes up later. We didn't even read about that yet.
It comes up later. Okay, Bhusha, thank you, Jatari. It seems like we're going to get to that point. But if anybody wants to say anything about it, they can do that. Bhushaji.
Yeah, Mata, Hare Krishna. Yeah, the thing is that here it's talking about dancing and rasa dancing. So the nice thing is that that's a form of service. Immediately it may not come because you just think, okay, dancing's fun. Let's have fun. Some kirtan, jump up and down. But it's a form of service to please the deity, to please Krishna. Like I just saw this in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya, chapter 8, verse 285. It says, we cannot see the Supreme Lord by making personal efforts. Rather, when the Lord is pleased by the service of a devotee, he reveals himself. So when Krishna was seeing now that how they had done so much service in glorifying him, then automatically Krishna reveals himself, and then now the service it keeps extending in the form of dancing.
Wonderful.
Nice point. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Love to dance in front of the deities, that's for sure. Anyone else?
I think that dancing was one of the anubhavas. It's when someone acts physically, there's thinking, feeling, and willing. So when someone acts by dancing, they're actually expressing their heart with their movements, and that's part of how the rasa dance is so beautifully portraying the exchange between Krishna and the gopis.
Oh. Okay, let's go on then. Bhusha, would you like to continue? Oh, wait a minute. The Zoom user. Who is the Zoom user? Is that
Manvantara?
Manvantara.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for thank you, Dhruva, and everyone for that beautiful summary. And I had a question also, like the first person that asked about how it is that Krishna, the gopis didn't see the other girls, that Krishna was, realize that Krishna was with the other girls. And then I was thinking that the gopis are truly our spiritual masters when it comes to service, bhakti with Krishna.
Nice.
And in terms of how they didn't see the other girls, it's kind of like when the spiritual master engages you in service, like they're sharing Krishna, but the gopis didn't see the other girls, so it's like they were, I don't know if you can use the word enjoying Krishna, but they were serving Krishna, but they didn't think, or it appears that they didn't seem to think to have Krishna engaged with the other girls. In other words, it appears to me that it was a selfish situation, even though I know it's not. But I'm just saying, if that can be addressed, that question can be addressed as we proceed further.
Good. Mukunda, thank you, Manvantara. That's a nice question. Mukundaji, can you shed some light?
Yes.
Nice to see you here, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, there's two things. One is that prior to the gopis meeting Radhika, when Krishna had left her, when they left to be alone, once the gopis caught up to her, it's mentioned, they became like one of heart with Radhika. So now when the Rasa Leela genuinely begins, there is not a separate mood of Radhika, of what's called Isha or jealousy, because they're all of one heart.
Right.
So now the Leela Shakti provides what is called a prakosh. A prakosh means like almost like an individual chamber of reality, so to speak. So each of the gopis is experiencing in that prakosh, she's dancing with Krishna alone. From a broader perspective, we can see all gopis are dancing Ras Leela. But to that gopi, in her heart, she's experiencing Krishna's dancing with me alone. Understand? So
Oh,
this is explained by the acharyas. Yeah, Leela Shakti does this. It's not,
Leela Shakti.
yeah, Yogmaya Shakti makes,
Yeah.
like the examples given when Krishna's in Dwarka and Narada Muni goes from house to house, he sees different prakosh. That's what amazed him. That he went one place, Krishna was praying, another place he's taking dinner, another place he's playing with the kids. So these are called prakosh of a Leela. So during the Ras Leela, Yogmaya Shakti makes a prakosh in which each gopi thinks, I'm dancing with Krishna alone.
Very good.
As the director of the Leela, we can see the common sense of this. Thank you, Mukunda. That was beautiful. Because what it does is it brings each individual gopi into an intimate, private experience directly with Krishna, which obviously allows them to express themselves each more fully than if everyone was seeing everyone else.
Okay.
It's all part of the rasa, like Mukunda said, it's Yogamaya directing that so that each girl can fully blossom in her own individuality. And as he mentioned very nicely also about how there's that competitive element has been taken care of and subdued. There's no competitive element anymore.
Bahusha?
It's interesting how the demigods and demigoddesses are seeing the whole show, and then each gopi is just having the individual show.
Well, that's questionable. We didn't solve that one.
We'll read that in text 3.
Okay, we'll read that.
And you would think that if Krishna's between each gopi, one on each shoulder, why couldn't that other gopi see the hey?
Yogamaya.
Yeah,
Yogamaya.
right.
Yogamaya.
I think Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur in these next verses we're going to read expands on this.
Okay, good. Bahusha, would you like to continue reading? Please, Krishna.
Oops.
There you go.
1031:7. 1. Sarartha Darshini. Shukadev Goswami said, when the coward girls heard the Supreme Personality of Godhead speak these most charming words, they forgot their distress caused by separation from him. Touching his transcendental limbs, they felt all their desires fulfilled. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This chapter describes the rasa dance, various amusements, and playing in the Jamuna. There is also an exchange of questions and answers between Sukadev Goswami and King Parikshit. The gopis' desires were fulfilled by touching Krishna's limbs and by hearing his charming words. Another meaning, raise, the gopis gave up their pain of separation upon hearing Krishna's enchanting words, and Krishna increased his joy by touching their bodies. Thus is it implied that after hearing Krishna's replies to their questions, the gopis' minds were pacified, and the pastimes of embracing and kissing commenced.
Read Sanatana Goswami's also okay, Bahusha. Oh, you want somebody else to read it?
Well, I don't even.
Well, before we talk about it, let's have the reading. That's all I'm saying, because it's the same verse.
Okay. Let's just get, I think Thakur Murari is here, and I think he leaves in a little bit.
7, right.
Thakur, would you like to read, Prabhu? Nice to have you here again. Are you here? I don't know if he is here. Okay. Manvantara, would you like to read?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Commentary by Sanatana Goswami for Brihad Vaishnav Toshani. Hearing the most attractive words of Bhagavan, who revealed his unlimited nature by these words, they gave up the pain of past and future separation. This is the repetition of a previous statement because they had not completely given up separation. Now they completely gave up their pain, thinking that there would no longer be any separation, since he had explained his indebtedness. They gave up their pain because they were filled with natural prema ras. Their desires were fulfilled by embracing him and holding his hands. Or because of his skillful words, they felt their desires fulfilled in all their limbs. Text two.
No.
No, let's discuss this now. Bhusha, do you want to say something about
Can
this?
you show it again, please?
Sure.
Oh, there's Thakur here. Okay. There you go.
One thing I just see is that they gave up their pain. They're in so much pain. So even in transcendental ecstasy, one could feel pain like that. You think that, oh, well, no, you're in ecstasy all the time, so you don't feel pain.
No.
But here it says they actually gave up. They actually gave up their pain. So that's
It's a very important point, actually. It says here that it was a repetition from a previous statement, because you may remember when Krishna finally came out of the forest, when they were sitting there after they had sung the Gopi Gita, and Krishna appeared before them, they, with proper etiquette, received him very nicely and wonderfully. But some of them, especially the left-wing gopis, it mentioned those with Madhu Sneha rather than Grita Sneha, they had an underlying anger that he had left them all alone in the forest after they had given up everything to come for him. And they were still being nice to him, but that underlying, and their question was laced with those emotions. So he responded so expertly that all that was dissipated by his true expression of his love for them and his indebtedness to them, to the point where their fear of separation was completely dissipated. There was no longer any thought that would come about. I really like that one. It's a nice meditation.
Okay. Okay, so Thakur, did you want to say something?
Yes, quickly. I was trying to get the mic up to read, but I had some difficulty. So happy
okay.
New Year to everybody.
You can read next then.
Yes, yeah. So
okay, Acharya.
Oh,
yeah, I found very interesting the statement that all their past and future pain was eliminated. I'm not remembering the exact words, and I was thinking about that, their future pain, and and the explanation is interesting that the gopis were thinking, oh, there won't be any more indebtedness because Krishna said he's indebted to us, so he won't do this to us again.
Oh boy.
I thought that was interesting, and not to say anything bad about Krishna, but that maybe is not the last time that he ever,
no doubt about
made
that.
the gopis feel separation, but they were feeling that their future pain is diminished or gone because, oh, Krishna, he's indebted to us now. He won't leave us again.
I just heard Prabhupada was reciting that verse of Rupa Goswami, don't go down to the river Yamuna if you want any happiness from this world. Right. Mukunda?
Yeah, I was gonna comment to Bhushwara's statement. Actually, according to Ujjalani Mani, when pain comes, it's mentioned in the definition of the word rag in the progression of prema. Dukkam adikam chitte shukat enava rajayate. So whenever they would have any pain, like from separation, immediately upon thinking about the prospect of meeting their lover, it's Vrajayate means to permeate. It's permeated with a great happiness.
Mm.
And here it's saying that in the future, having
Excuse me, just to clarify, Mukunda, when they're in that condition of pain?
yeah, when the pain comes,
Yeah.
on the prospect that this pain is caused by Krishna. As soon as there's a thought of Krishna and the aspiration to see him or anything, shukyat jena eva rajayate. So rajayate means it permeates that feeling with a happiness that I will see Krishna.
Oh,
Rupa
sweet.
Goswami gives the example though that the greatest pain they feel is their chastity being questioned, but they even give that up on the prospect that we'll see Krishna. Whatever they may say about me, whatever Jatila Kutila may say, whatever they criticize, still I have the prospect I'll see Krishna. It becomes a complete kind of ananda. So this is the definition of rag in Ujjwali Mani.
Beautiful.
Oh, Krishna. Okay. Shall we go on?
Sure.
Okay. Mukunda, you want to read?
No, you said Murari said.
Oh,
right.
Murari. Sorry. I get confused. Murari, why did you read?
Okay, so text 2.
Yes.
Okay, text 2, Sarasa Darshini. Dani Yamuna's banks. Lord Govinda then began the pastime of the rasa dance in the company of those jewels among women. The faithful gopis who joyfully link the arms together. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. When the actions of singing, dancing, kissing, and embracing combine together, they produce rasa. Amusement composed of rasa is called rasa kridam, or the rasa dance. Joyfully entwining the arms together, Krishna played with those gopis, the jewels among the men, who are now favorably disposed.
Thank goodness. Okay.
So I believe you, Prabhus. See you on Saturday.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Haribol. Okay. Well, why doesn't Mukunda read the next part and then we can discuss?
Okay.
Is this the same?
Yes.
Kundaji?
The commentary of Sanatana Goswami, that starting there,
Yeah.
Yes.
commentary of Srila Sanatana Goswami from Brihad Vaishnava Toshini. This verse also has slightly different translation, emphasizing the harmony between everyone. When their minds were in harmony, Govinda then began the pastime of the rasa dance in the company of those best among women who were dedicated only to him, who joyfully linked their arms together with him. The commentary: when his mind was in harmony with their minds, he then began the rasa dance, a huge festival, which he desired to perform previously. On attaining these women whom he most desired, he had an excellence of the supreme male. He had the excellence of the supreme male by revealing his outstanding powers and sweetness as the Lord of Gokul. They were the best of all women. Nanartha Bhargava says, Ratna means the best of species. This shows the best ingredients for the rasa dance. They were furthermore influenced by the most intense praying for him and were solely dependent on him. There were many hands. Anyanyam refers to all the gopis, rather than just one gopi being with him. There was a gopi on either side of him holding his neck. That is the characteristic of the rasa dance. Rasa dance is defined as women holding the neck of the male dancer on either side and forming a circle. They thought he should remain in this circle and not leave. Thus, they held their hands tightly. Go on down to Sarata Darshini?
No. Wait a minute. I'm a little confused about the order of things. Is that where we can have a discussion now? Bhante?
Yes. This is
Okay.
the end of chapter text 2.
Okay, Mukunda, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, they're starting to describe the beginning of the rasa dance. Sometimes it's described that the gopis link arms together and Krishna puts his arm around their neck. Sometimes it's mentioned vice versa. But the basis of the rasa dance is explained earlier, that Gita Nitra Krida Chumbana or Ashlesha means to dancing, singing, hugging, and kissing. So these are the elements, and therefore those elements produce what is called rasanam sumahiti rasa. It produces the moods of their heart in action. Like your husband has mentioned this many times. So this is also called samsparsha, when they start touching. Like earlier, when they didn't see Krishna, they wanted to see him. So when he reappeared, they had sandarshan, they saw him. Then they didn't immediately start dancing, they sat to talk. That's called sanjalpa. The next progression from seeing talking is touching. So this is called samsparsha.
Okay. You know, it's interesting. We were talking about dancing. I think Bahusha was saying that, and we've experienced that when you dance, or with these actions in relation to Krishna, the heart exhibits it through the dancing.
Yeah,
You know,
very good.
it's coming from the heart
Yes.
when you're dancing in front of the Lord or relating to the Lord. It's a heart thing. It's that, but it's also not only it's not sentiment only, but it's definitely the opening of the heart chakra.
Yeah, I think like your husband mentioned, it's actually an anubhava prem.
Yeah,
The dancing
Anubhav.
movements.
Wonderful, Anubhav, right? Oh, this is so nectar. Let's go on. Thank you, Mukundaji. Sukara, would you like to read?
Text 3,
Yes.
Saratha Darshani. The festive rasa dance commenced, with the gopis arrayed in a circle. Lord Krishna expanded himself and entered between each pair of gopis, and as that master of mystic power placed his arms around their necks, each girl thought he was standing next to her alone. The demigods and their wives were overwhelmed with eagerness to witness the rasa dance, and they soon crowded the sky with their hundreds of celestial airplanes. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. This verse describes how Krishna consorted with the gopis. The rasa dance is called a festival, Rasa Utsava, because it was full of music, singing, and dancing, merrymaking, and wonderful food in the form of blissful nectar for the Chataka birds of the devotees' eyes and minds. The festival began in a perfectly arranged way, with Krishna entering between each pair of gopis who were standing in a circle. One should not think that this verse means that Krishna initiated the Rasa Krida. Krishna was not the doer. The Rasa Leela was the doer. Krishna gave the Rasa Leela the independence to initiate the action. Krishna was present as one of the ingredients of the festival. In this way, more than Krishna himself, more than all his energies, and more than all his pastimes, the supreme position of the Rasotsava is proclaimed throughout the universe. Therefore, even such personalities as Goddess Lakshmi, though greedily hankering to achieve these pastimes, could not do so.
We should stop and talk just for a minute about that. It's a
Okay.
big point.
Would anyone like to say something about this? Hati, you seemed like you had something in mind.
Oh, I just find it amazing. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, is the origin of all, everything. Everything is, we always consider that Krishna is independent. He's Atmarama. He's got everything under control. Every atom is under his control. But here, from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's point of view, he's expressing that Krishna submitted himself. This was also in the first verse, Yoga Maya Upashritaha, that Krishna took shelter of Yoga Maya and allowed her, or allowed that energy, to dictate and produce the freedom so that everyone could exchange in these loving ways in a way that had never been done in any of his other pastimes. So he's glorifying the Rasa Leela as an entity in its own right.
You know, I have a question. I've been reading in the Gopala Champu about the pastime of Brahma stealing the cowherd boys, and how Krishna enjoyed with all of the cowherd boys when they were reunited. And it sounds very familiar in relation to the Rasa dance. He expanded himself because it was said there's hundreds, thousands, millions, tens of millions of cowherd boys. And Krishna is relating to each one of them. So, and that gives me great hope. But and it, of course, it's different because it's a different mellow. But
In principle, it's beautiful
principle, it's the
because
same.
Krishna can individually relate with with each calf, with each boy, with each gopi, with each jiva.
Yeah, to the extent that that living entity relates to him. So we see that this rasa dance, although it's unique to the gopis, we could all identify with it in some way, because Krishna is relating to us all. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's go on with Chitari. Would you like to read? Thank you, Sukita. And Pati, thank you for commenting.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. How was Krishna positioned between the gopis? Krishna entered between the gopis, embracing their necks on either side. In this regard, the 6th verse of this chapter states, Madhya Maninam Haimanam Maha Marakto Yata. Turn that off, folks. Krishna was like a great emerald among all the golden jewels. Since the word madhye, middle, and also the singular form of the word marakata, emerald, are used, and since in the previous verse it is not explicitly stated that Krishna was present in individual forms together with each gopi, we understand that Krishna was actually present in the center of all the gopis, like the whorl of a lotus flower. This demonstrates the dexterity of Krishna's movement, that he was able to dance next to each pair of gopis. In the flash of a second, Krishna left the middle where he was standing and danced with and embraced the 300 million gopis who were standing in the rasa circle. And then again, he returned to the middle. Krishna's movement was quicker than a firebrand, because at that time, everyone could see Krishna standing in the center and also situated between the gopis in the circle of the rasa dance.
Okay, now I have a question right here. Can I ask a question?
It's actually continued, Sama. Let's talk about it after.
Okay, go on, Chitari.
I'm sorry. Well,
Can
there
you
was
continue?
some.
Okay.
Want me to continue? Okay.
Yeah, and then Ranga will read.
In this connection, Bilva Mangala Thakur has said, Madhava was between each pair of gopis, and also each gopi was between the two Madhavas. Devanandana.
Devaki Nandana.
Devaki Nandana Krishna also appeared in the middle of the circle, playing upon his flute and singing. The basic cause for this extraordinary event is indicated by the word Yogeshvarena, meaning that Krishna is the perfect master of all methods of artistic skills and the means of acting thus. The Amara Kosha dictionary says that the word yoga means method, or yoga can refer to Yogamaya, the great potency who is expert in doing the impossible for her Lord Sri Krishna. Knowing that Krishna desired to embrace all the gopis simultaneously, Yogamaya manifested a Krishna for each gopi to solve this problem.
Oh,
Let's have Ranga read this, because it just keeps explaining. He keeps expanding on it
Okay,
further.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Ranga, you want to continue? Rangavati,
I know she left.
did she leave?
I don't know where she went.
Okay.
Oh, well, if you don't, then I certainly don't. Okay, well, she can read after. And Faye, are you there? Would you like to read? Can you read? Is she there? Yeah,
Oh, Mataji, I am here.
good. Would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
There are two ways of understanding the phrase Krishna entered between each pair of gopis. The first understanding is that Krishna expanded as two forms on the sides of each gopi. The second understanding is one that Krishna entered between each pair of gopis. In the first explanation, each gopi would have Krishna on each shoulder, which would be contradictory for her. But this is not a problem because the great Yogamaya Shakti made each gopi aware that only one Krishna was touching her. There is, however, no contradiction in the second explanation. Being maddened by love, each gopi thought, Krishna is here embracing me alone. Even though we see him dancing all around, it is simply because of his unique expertise in the art of dancing.
Go on.
The Vaishnava acharyas say that Devakinanda, Devaki Kinanda stood in the center of the rasa dance along with Srimati Radharani because she is the most excellent of gopis and the very cause of the Rasa Leela, as stated in the Radha Satanama Stotra, Rasa Kridam Karanam. At that moment, the sky became crowded with hundreds of airplanes belonging to the denizens of heaven, headed by Brahma. They eagerly watched Krishna's rasa dancing, but they were not qualified to witness Krishna's confidential pastimes with the gopis because they were Desha Bhaktas, worshiping him in the mood of servitude.
That's dasya. Faye.
Dasha.
You know what dasya means.
I don't recall now. Please enlighten me.
Dasya means servant.
Servant. Okay. The spelling sometimes when it's conjugated confuses me. Thank you. Worshipping him in the mood of servitude. Yogamaya thus arranged everything so expertly that the men of heaven could see the dancing of Krishna, but not his beloved gopis.
Whoa. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's have a little discussion on this one. Anyone like to enlighten us, Patsy?
You seem to want to have a question. Did that get resolved by reading the whole thing?
I think so.
Because I know you don't. You often question that firebrand example.
Yeah, that it just seems that Krishna is extremely. It's not, the rasa is not dependent upon him running from gopi to gopi, no matter how fast he runs. You know, there is one Krishna, and he is expanding himself for all the gopis and all the cowherd boys and all everybody. So it would be not understandable if he had to run between each heart and each soul. So, and I know this point is brought up a lot, but Mukunda, what do you think?
Yeah, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he brought this up so that the Leela could stay as a Naravat Leela, means like a human-like pastime. Because if Krishna suddenly expanded himself, of course we know Krishna can do that, but in the mood of them being human beings like boys and girls, if he expanded himself into 3 billion people, it would kind of freak everybody out. Like a bad word.
Well, he is expanding himself, but nobody is seeing. So therefore, that's being arranged.
Yeah. So
The
Vishwanath,
freaking.
Vishwanath, what he's doing is he's describing it in a way that would be palatable to keep the mood of the Naravat Lila. So you're right, even though he's doing it, and we read already, Yoga Maya is protecting it so nobody is seeing it, and he's giving each gopi her own little chamber where she's seeing Krishna with her, etc. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, there's a history of this writing. It mentions that he wanted to do it to keep Naravat Lila in place. If I find that, I'll try to post it in
Yeah,
the other thing.
good, because I find it inconceivable that he would have to be subordinate to that kind of action, that Krishna would have to be subordinate to being with everyone by running between them.
I think it was, I think he described that there are two ways to understand it.
Right.
Yes.
And one is that he's in the center, the other is that he's expanding. And both are possible at the same time in the
That's it. It even
spiritual
said it.
world.
It said simultaneously.
That's one of the things that's inconceivable to a material mind. We put everything in a box and think that's there. It must stay there. It's in the box.
Yeah.
But in spirit, it's a different dimension, a different realm, a different reality. So Krishna is able to be in the middle with Srimati Radharani, which is also interesting. It mentioned here the Vaishnavacharyas say that Devaki Nandan stood in the center of the rasa dance along with Srimati Radharani because she is the most excellent of the gopis and the very cause of the rasa lila. As stated in the Radha Satanam Stotra, Rasa Kridam Karanam. So we'll read more
She's
about that.
She's the Ladini principle, but what happened to the Leela Shakti? There was a whole description of how Leela Shakti is actually controlling, organizing,
nice point.
giving opportunity. But first it's the Ladini potency, then the Leela Shakti, I suppose. Charya, did you want to write something? Or did you say something? Oh, and then we have a few people. Everyone wants to talk. Okay. Mukunda, are you finished for now, Prabhu?
Yes, unless there's some
Okay.
other-
So Acharya, and then everybody else.
No, I don't have any.
I don't see any other hands up.
Okay. Well, no,
I'm
I'm
good.
saying Bahusha and Jatari. Jatari, Jatari, unmute. Yeah.
Did I get it right that because the demigods are in the Dasya Ras that they couldn't see the gopis there? Is that what it said?
Yep.
Really? So it was just Krishna dancing?
That's what they saw. Because of their Dasya Bhava, says here, at that moment, the sky became crowded with hundreds of airplanes belonging to the denizens of heaven, headed by Brahma. They eagerly watched Krishna's rasa dancing, but they were not qualified to witness Krishna's confidential pastimes with the gopis.
Well, then
Because
maybe
they are
they did.
Dasya Bhaktas, worshipping him in the mood of servitude. Yogamaya thus arranged everything so expertly that the men of heaven could see the dancing of Krishna, but not his beloved gopis.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
And did he expand himself? Were they able to see that? No, just one Krishna, right? Is that what it was?
I don't know. I just found
It's
that
not
pretty
described.
amazing. Krishna just dancing out there.
It sounds to me like there's an underlying principle. We hear that the sky is crowded, and no doubt the demigods are Dasya Bhava. They're managers performing service, and each individual is different, and will see different things. But overall, they're not qualified to enter and perceive Krishna's intimate exchanges. So that was restricted to them, even though they were present in the sky.
Yes, because they still have Purush Bhav.
Pardon?
They have Purush Bhav. They still feel themselves
Yes.
male.
That also, right.
And when they saw, were they able to see? I mean, Brahma was right there with the cowherd boys when Krishna. Well, I'm just saying that Krishna expanded himself.
He did expand himself to everything.
Yeah, he did. But he was with each cowherd boy. That at that part, he was with each cowherd boy. I mean, how could he not be?
He was each cowherd boy.
Well, I mean, after
Oh,
after he was
I
each
see.
cowherd boy, he was with each cowherd boy. I mean, that is, how can he not be? I mean, a cowherd boy is standing 1 million, 2 million, billion people behind, and someone says he's there. You know, Krishna must have had a relationship with each cowherd boy. Sounds like speculation. It's more of an inquiry.
How did you get there from Krishna dancing with the gopis and the
Because-
demigods not being able to see it?
Well, because I'm absorbed in that Leela of the cowherd boys expanding them with and Lord Brahma, and it seems
I like what you
Right.
said before. It's similar, but there's a completely
Yeah.
different flavor going
I'm-
on. But
right,
the
I'm not
manifestation,
talking-
of Krishna's unlimitedness with each person as an individual, and not only that, he was the rocks, he was the trees, he was the water, he was everything, and Brahma was given that vision. So similarly, on another principle, the demigods in this particular instance are not given that vision. That's not being revealed to them, although it is taking place.
Let's see. Thank you, Acharya.
Yeah, just a reminder that, however many months ago it was when we were doing the Kaliya Leela, and we read the second iteration or another iteration of that pastime from Brihad Bhagavatamrita,
We did.
where Krishna was dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, and he invited the gopis up to dance with him on the hoods of Kaliya, and not all the Brijavasis could see that happening.
Oh, is that one of the features?
If I'm remembering
I
correctly,
think you're right.
that
Right.
they
Good,
saw
Acharya.
Krishna dancing,
Very good.
but
Right.
the Brijavasis who were not in that
I don't
mood
remember that.
were
Yeah,
with the
right,
gopis.
because it was an intimate pastime. They want how would they be allowed to, or how could they comprehend Krishna dancing
Yeah.
with the gopis up on there?
No, we have to use some
Nice.
of our intelligence in this, right? Somehow or another. Okay, Mahushra.
This is one reason why we're so indebted to Lord Chaitanya, because he's given us the Achintya Bheda Bhed philosophy, so we can understand and go into depth and understand all the intricacies in the of the rasa dance. Even though we're trying to do it understand as best we can, but still with the Achintya Bheda Bhed philosophy, it's easily understandable because the Madhvas can't do it. That's why Brahmavi Mohan, they won't even touch it because they can't
Right.
understand. They can't get
Right.
into that, both sides of the story, both sides of the argument, how Krishna can be doing both. So this is why.
Okay.
Another point that we can branch off on that, Bahushra, is that Lord Chaitanya is not only presenting a philosophy which makes it so we can understand it. From that first lecture that we reviewed, he's actually giving us an opportunity and an invitation to enter into these pastimes and see them and witness them through the eyes of intimacy, unlike even the demigods.
Mamatara?
Yes, I just want to make some sense of it by using like a material example. Like I'm here at Gita Nagari, but the point I'm trying to make is there's a scheduler that arranges all the services here. And that scheduler is in my mind is kind of like Yoga Maya in this example. And the scheduler is not even on campus. The scheduler is in another state and put all the services and people in these individual time zones. And then you have an opportunity to review the schedule and then you start your service. And so I'm thinking it's kind of like that in the sense that, like, for example, the people who dresses and undresses Radha Damodar is like, it's such a private, intimate service that no one else is seeing it, even though we know it's happening and it's going on. No one else is seeing it when they're dressing and undressing at that particular time. And Krishna knows everyone, we know that this is
Right.
going on, but no one is seeing it. And then the scheduler, it's just like it's a dance in a way, because you have to get used to the times and the zones and everything else in executing the service, and like cooking or whatever it is that you're doing. And so I'm wondering if it's kind of like that, maybe.
Well, I think Yogamaya is aware of everything, but it sounds like a good
She's the scheduler in that
Yogamaya.
analogy. Yeah.
She's the everything. She's the scheduler. She's the director. Don't you think?
Yeah.
That's an interesting analogy. Mukunda.
Yeah, Yogamaya does the general production, and she gives the details to Vrinda Devi, actually.
Okay.
So Vrinda Devi does the little minute details, because
Okay.
Yogamaya, being elderly lady, doesn't want to place herself in the midst of Radha and Krishna at that time.
Oh. That's Purnamasi. But
Yeah.
she does reveal herself in other ways, like
As Vrinda Devi. Vrinda Devi.
no,
Ways, yeah.
Yogamaya reveals herself as Subhadra, or the younger sister of Krishna. She has a lot of different forms. But since you're absorbed in this, Bob, that is definitely a fact. She doesn't want to reveal that or ruin that, Ross. Okay.
Just for
wait a
time,
minute.
Sama, you may
Okay,
want to
let's
have two
just
different
read.
people read, but let's do both 4 through 6.
Okay. Okay. Is Ranga there now?
Also, Sudha,
Yeah.
she's
Sudha
there.
Sindhu.
Yeah, from Malaysia.
Okay, in a second. I don't know if Ranga is, she's not there. Oh, she is there. I see her coming.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to read, Ranga?
Yeah, I'll read. Thank
Okay,
you.
let Ranga read. And then Sudha Sindhu can read after.
Text 4 or 5.
Pati.
Yes.
Darshini. Kettle drums then resounded in the sky while flowers rained down, and the chief Gandharvas and their wives sang Lord Krishna's spotless glories. A tumultuous sound arose from the armlets, ankle bells, and waistband bells of the gopis as they sported with their beloved Krishna in the circle of the rasa dance. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the bangles, ankle bells, and waist bells of the gopis who were with Krishna made a great sound, cha, and indicates that musical instruments such as the various types of drums were also played. However, indicating them only by cha means that they were not the principal instruments and did not cover the sound of the gopis' bangles and other ornaments.
Wow. Let's just see if Sudha Sindhu, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, hello,
Yes.
my darling. Please read. Hare Krishna.
That's 6.
Yes.
Saratra Dasini.
Yes.
In the midst of the dancing gopis, Lord Krishna appeared most brilliant, like an exquisite sapphire in the midst of golden ornaments. Vishwanatha Chakrati Thakura. Even though Krishna is the son of Devaki Sutta, a member of the Kshatriya community, and even though he is Bhagavan, who in all 6 opulences, he appeared especially beautiful in the midst of the lovely cowherd damsels of Raja. Though Krishna's complexion resembles a blue sapphire, by mixing with the golden bodies of the gopis, he manifested a splendid emerald color, Marakata Mani. The word Maha is used to indicate that Krishna's beauty was extraordinary. Other authorities say that the word Marakata means blue sapphire. Thus, the word Maha Marakato means appearing like an emerald or like a sapphire in some version of the text.
Okay. Okay, so now let's thank you very much, Sudha Sindhu. Let's have a small discussion because I think our time has run out here. We could talk eternally about all of these things, but somebody, what is your realization about what we just read. We covered so many different points. Anyone? Bahushra?
So it's mentioned earlier that the demigods could not see the gopis, but could they hear the sound of the ankle bells and we don't know. I mean, unless it's mentioned later on. It makes you wonder, because sometimes then they might wonder, well, where are the gopis? We don't see them. We hear the sound, so
why would there be a crowd of demigods unless there was something that they were witnessing that was unique?
Krishna dancing is pretty unique.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I mean, he must have really, if you only see Krishna, actually that's what it is. A devotee only sees Krishna. When Prabhupada said, once you see Krishna, you should want to see Krishna. And once you see Krishna, you can't see anything else. I just heard him say that. There was a whole discussion about not being able to see Krishna until you leave your body. And that became very agonizing. But Prabhupada said we should want to see Krishna. And just that desire to want to see Krishna, then you'll see Krishna. Mukunda?
Yeah, for just like we take darshan of the deities, and Krishna is only standing in Tribhanga, and we see it as extremely beautiful. So the demigods were actually Adikrita Dasya Bhaktas to see Krishna actually dancing and moving. How charming is that for them? But the demigoddesses who are there are actually Nityasiddha gopis who appear in the heavenly planets when Krishna comes. So that's why they're getting to witness. This is written in Ujjwala Mani.
That the wives of the demigods saw the gopis dancing.
Yeah, those actually are Nityasiddha gopis
qualified
told to take birth in the heavenly planets when he appears on earth.
Well, you may remember when the demigods, along with Bhumi, went to Brahma, and then they all went to the Milk Ocean.
That's
when Vishnu instructed Brahma that you should all take birth in the Yadu dynasty.
Yes.
He also said that the wives of the demigods should also take birth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all one.
So they were sadhana siddha. They were sadhana siddha.
Well, he's saying some in Ujjwala Nalamani, some are Nityasiddhas.
Some are Nityasiddha and some are.
Also, one of the things that I appreciated while meditating on this pastime, there are millions and millions of gopis, and we know from the story of Brihat Bhagavatamrita how pleased Krishna is when a jiva finally comes from the material realm into the spiritual world because of his big hug. Everybody's seen that famous painting of Krishna hugging Gopakumar and falling to the ground and creating a puddle of tears and muddying the grounds of Vrindavan due to his ecstasy of having his friend come back to him. So although it's unspoken, we can understand from the descriptions previously that there are sadhana siddhas who are also taking part in this millions of gopis. And now Krishna, individually with each one of them, is experiencing, why did he want to engage in the rasa dance? If you go back to the first verse, something awoke within him where he wanted to dance with the gopis. So it's multifaceted experience for him because that's his nature. It's unlimited.
And he wanted to also enjoy the association of the devotees, just the way we are trying to cultivate this getting back to Krishna. He also, just as you said, the hug, he wants to appreciate that. He wants to share that exchange. He's a person. See, because of our misconceptions, sometimes we forget Krishna is a feeling person, and he loves. So that's wonderful.
Jai. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Continued.
Hare Krishna. See you on Saturday, I hope.
Jai. Vanchakalpatubhyascha, Kripasindhubhyascha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna.